The film presents the installation process of Hybridbeam beams in a mixed-use building located in northern Germany. The beams were designed within the floor slab above the ground floor to support Filigree-type composite slabs. The beam grid carries the load-bearing walls of the residential stories, providing an unobstructed space at ground floor level. The installation begins with verifying the bearing elevations in accordance with the details provided in the execution documentation. If any deviations exceeding the permissible installation tolerances are identified, corrective measures must be taken to restore the conditions specified in the design. Hybridbeam beams delivered to the construction site are typically installed directly from the transport vehicles. If prior on-site storage is required, appropriate storage conditions must be observed. The ground must be level and capable of withstanding the loads resulting from the weight of the element. Stacking the beams on top of one another is permitted. Before installation begins, a visual inspection must be carried out to verify that the element's identification markings correspond with the delivery documents and the design documentation. The Hybridbeam beam must be lifted using a crane, employing lifting slings of appropriate and certified load capacity and length. System-integrated threaded lifting anchors are built into the beams, into which the transport loops must be screwed. Hybridbeam beams are standardly equipped with so-called transport battens, which are temporarily fixed to the bottom flange to protect the underside of the beam and to allow repeated repositioning on the construction site. These elements must be removed during the initial phase of lifting the beam. During the installation of Hybridbeam beams, attention must be paid to ensuring that the element's identification corresponds to the design documentation and that the beam end is correctly positioned on the designated support. In complex structural arrangements, such as the one shown, maintaining the correct installation sequence of individual beams is also of critical importance. Hybridbeam beams are delivered with a set of dedicated installation shims with a total thickness of 10 to 20 millimeters, intended for adjusting the bearing level. Bearing surfaces that lie above the required installation elevation must be lowered to -10 millimeters relative to the designed level by chiseling off the excess material. The bearing of the Hybridbeam can be executed in various ways. One method is to fix the beam using anchors installed through the openings in the bottom flange. The space between the beam and the reinforced concrete structure must be filled with high-strength grout to ensure uniform transfer of compressive stresses into the wall. Another method of direct bearing is to place the Hybridbeam beam onto cast-in reinforcement bars that pass through the openings located in the girder body. The insertion must proceed without any collision. After verifying the position of the Hybridbeam beam in relation to the structure, the area is filled with high-strength grout. In the case of temporarily supported slabs, the use of ribbed reinforcing bars is sufficient prior to grouting. For unsupported slabs, threaded rods, together with appropriate washers and nuts, are used to anchor the Hybridbeam beam to the support. This type of connection provides sufficient torsional stiffness of the beam, allowing installation without the need for temporary propping. An effective solution in beam systems is the use of a multi-span arrangement with a Gerber hinge. This configuration allows for a reduction of span moments and a decrease in structural deflections. Due to the nature of the connection, the so-called precise connection, it is crucial to install the cantilevered beams accurately and maintain the designed spacing between them. Small gaps between the end plate and the transfer plates must be carefully filled before tightening the connection, using a set of supplementary shims with appropriately selected thickness. A similar solution using steel blocks is applied in perpendicular beam connections. After inserting the spacer plates, the threaded rods are screwed into the cast-in sleeves and then secured with lock nuts. Another method of connecting hybrid beam beams is to bolt the extended webs to the welded stiffeners of the transverse beam. This solution also enables connections when the beams meet at an angle other than 90 degrees. All bolted connections of hybrid beam beams must be tightened to the torque specified in the table included in the installation drawings. Once all beams have been installed, the floor slabs, in this case Filigree type composite slabs, can be placed, followed by the concreting of the floor. The final outcome of the work is a durable floor structure, completed in a short time, capable of carrying high surface and line loads while maintaining a low structural depth.